Alright guys, so Season of the Wish, Destiny's next season, and technically its final quote-unquote season when it comes to naming, is upon us in 7 days. And this needs to do a lot. Now, for me personally, I'll be completely transparent. I am excited for the final shape. I was excited for the final shape. I'm excited to see what changes they do. Let's see what's up with this delay. It seems legit, but nothing official. So yeah, that's where I stand on this whole expansion and shenanigans on my individual self. But again, I am one player in a pool of millions potentially, and we all feel different things. So it's safe to say that Season of the Wish needs to do a lot. And let's talk about Season of Defiance and Season of the Deep a little bit before we jump into Season of the Witch and then get to some Season of the Wish stuff. Yeah, I'm just realizing Wish, that's gonna sound potentially the same and I might cross out the words, just heads up on that. So, Season of Defiance and Season of the Deep were designed and aesthetically made for themes. So Defiance was very night theme and Deep was very aquatic, very like kind of reef theme, water theme. And while I do think the dungeon itself, Ghost of the Deep, was phenomenal and definitely atmospherically was phenomenal, especially with Oryx being at the bottom and potentially be getting resurrected, and we stopped that. That aside, yeah, there's been a lack of identity with these seasons, and the seasons that lack identity, let's say a Plunder, let's say Defiance, let's say Deep, let's say Haunted, they have kind of fell back as being one of the worst seasons for me personally. And if we talk about some of the best seasons, Season of the Seraph, Season of the Witch, Season of the Opulence, Season of the Chosen, Splicer, these are seasons themed around expanding what is already established in the Destiny aesthetic, and they don't really feel like they're kind of designed to make you buy these Eververse engrams or items that are designed around these specific out-of-nowhere themes. And I'm not saying that as that's the purpose of the seasonal themes, but that's certainly what it feels like, and I don't really like that. So Season of the Witch came in and really kind of went back to the roots of Destiny, of focusing in on what works in Destiny, and we were focusing on the Witch Queen and the aesthetic there and what that did. And man, this season was incredible. Even though player count numbers kind of fell to an all-time low, I blame Festival of the Lost for that. It's kind of a pointless event, and I'm tired of these events kind of just selling you cosmetics instead of being anything meaningful in my opinion. I'm really excited for Wish. Now, little information if you guys don't know, here's the image here on screen. It is around the Akhmakara, and potentially, we don't know, there could be 2 Akhmakaras. The image with Mara is seemingly looking like a different Akhmakara, but yeah. This is a theme in Destiny that we've kind of left behind in Forsaken, and if you talk to a lot of players about like what they consider the best expansion, especially in Destiny 2, the Forsaken expansion is at the top of the list in most cases. I can make an argument for the Witch Queen, but when it comes to content, aesthetic, story, locations, what it did for the game, Forsaken's held to a gold standard, and part of the Forsaken expansion was the Dreaming City, which has been criminally underused ever since Forsaken has come out. Now, it is a common practice of Bungie to forget new locations that they built, use, sell with these expansions, and just leave them in the dust. Europa is a great one. Neo Numa is feeling some of that right now. We already seen with the Forsaken expansion, the Tangled Shore was vaulted. Don't get me started with the Moon and Shadowkeep, even though technically it's still valuable to grind players, like leveling up your weapons with the altars. Yeah, Bungie doesn't do a good job with locations. So seeing the Dreaming City likely coming into the forefront here as a location designed around this season, it's fascinating. But while the aesthetic may be fascinating, the story needs to truly get us going. One thing Season of the Seraph did was get us emotionally ingrained in a story I don't think we expected, and it led into a exciting conclusion leading into the Lightfall expansion. And the result of the Lightfall expansion is certainly on the mixed negative side. I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked the story. I liked the foundational changes, how the game felt, but I didn't love it. And that's what happened with Season of the Lost into the Witch Queen expansion and the Season of Risen that was attached to it. There was a good synergy there. So Wish needs to create that synergy and get us players excited for the next era of Destiny. That's a big ask. Well, if the delays are true, they're going to have 7 months to do this. And within these 7 months, people may not like this answer, I want another anniversary pack. We're coming up on Destiny's 10th anniversary. Give me a 10th anniversary pack. if you gotta bring in strikes from D1 into D2, I know there's technical issues and there's a lot of work to be done. I'm not against that. I'll pay some money for that. I'll pay for some money for a new endgame content themed around Destiny in a anniversary sense, exotic weapons to use, new arsenals from Destiny 1. I'm all for that. So the filler between these 7 months does need to be something. But last but not least, when it comes to the experience of Season of the Wish, one thing I want to see really take forefront, and I think they need to hit this mark in a Season of Seraph / Season of the Splicer mark when it comes to weapons and activities, is that we need to create meaningful content once again. For some reason, I'll be completely honest, when it came to seasonal weapons, I think this year has kind of been pretty damn barren. Like Season of Defiance and Season of the Deep. In my opinion, when it came to the seasonal weapons, these are things that tie to the vendor. Nothing really stood out as meaningful, of worthwhile, of kind of worth that time of grinding and playing. Now, Season of the Witch, I think there was a couple weapons that did change that, but even then, for example, the Eremite Fusion Rifle, it's a very niche category that endgame players may want this weapon. Players that do champion-based activities, Grandmasters may want the Eremite, but it's not a solely, fully fleshed out reward that everyone wants, like a Chroma Rush or Ignition Code from Season of the Splicer. These are simple rewards that were pretty damn incredible. So when it comes to the content and the rewards, we need to get juicy again. Like we need these seasonal weapons to kind of break the balance of a sandbox. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with seasonal weapons being introduced on a kind of level that are just kind of like, damn, this shit's really good. Stuff like that makes playing the game feel rewarding, and this past year of grinding, of playing, isn't feeling rewarding. So again, there is a long list of things that Season of the Wish needs to do, but hey, I'm here for it. We're going to be getting a new dungeon. We'll get new weapons tied to that. The dungeon game of Bungie himself, I mean, ever since Prophecy, they have been just knocking it out the park, so I am not worried on the dungeon side of things. Seasonal weapons, let's see how things go, especially on the reissues as well. There is changes coming, so let's see how that plays out altogether. But yeah, Season of the Wish or Season 23. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about Season of the Wish. How do you feel about where we're going into? I know the delays, put that aside. Like, what are your expectations with Season of the Wish? On a narrative foundation, there's a ton of potential, and I don't think the narrative of Destiny has kind of been lacking. I think the execution has, with specifically Lightfall and kind of the Witness origins we saw in Season of the Deep. But put all that aside, the stuff we have gotten has been incredible. So hopefully that trend continues. But curious to hear what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. But if you guys also found this video informative, enjoyable, you enjoyed the conversation, definitely be sure to drop this video a like. Helps out the video a ton. And to stay up to date with more content from me on this channel, definitely hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified for when I do drop more content. But that's practically all I have to say on this one. Hope you guys have a good one. ShadowNinja here, and I'm out.